Follow up on the 60-day deadline stipulated in the cessation of hostilities agreement between Israel and Hezbollah is set to expire on the 26th of January. What's the SG view on this?
Well, this was a extremely important agreement that the parties were able to reach. The situation on the ground is better than it was before. We're still seeing violations of the blue line, which are obviously concerning. I think it's critical that the parties use this time to consolidate the peace, to enable the Lebanese who've had to leave the south to return home, and to enable the Israelis who've had to leave the north of their country to also return home, so civilians on both sides of the blue line can restart their lives.
Do you support a renewal?
Sorry?
A renewal. Do you support a renewal?
Well, we support anything that will move this forward, and obviously we support building on this, whether it's renewing or building on this. Deji, then Pam, then Gabby.
Several follow-ups. First, SG's travel to Lebanon. We know that there's only like hours of traveling time from Beirut to Damascus. Will the SG also visit Damascus this time?
There are no further trips planned to travel at this point.
So only Lebanon?
There are no further trips planned at this point.
Okay. Since you said that he is traveling later this week, for us, Thursday, there would be a press conference?
Thank you for reminding me, Deji. The press conference will have to be rescheduled.
Earlier?
We will, two things we're working on. One is to have the Secretary General will do a press stakeout on Wednesday after he speaks to the General Assembly. So we'll do that at the press stakeout area of the GA. If we do something earlier, I will let you know. And the full-blown press conference will be rescheduled for when he returns.
Okay. Another thing about it, so another ceasefire deal of Gaza. Obviously, we heard a lot of, let's say, rumors or reports or official languages that the U.S. is very much hoping that this week they could see a ceasefire deal in Gaza. How optimistic is the Secretary General on the deal reached before Trump administration?
It is very clear that the activities have intensified in the last few days. They're intensely going on. The Secretary General received a phone call from the Prime Minister of Qatar earlier today to brief him. Given everything that's at stake, the humanity that's at stake, I will not comment on it further at this point.
Okay, one last question. South Korean media reported that about 300 North Korean soldiers got killed and 2,700 wounded when fighting in Kursk region in Russia. Does the UN has any confirmation?
I have no information.
Any positions on
no
this?
information beyond what we've seen. Pam and then Gabby.
Thanks, Steph. One follow-up is the SG speaking on Wednesday at the GA stakeout after the vote. Is that
Yes,
what you
ma'am.
said? Okay.
No, I didn't say after the vote. He will present his priority speech.
Oh, okay.
And he will speak to that after that. I'm not
Perfect.
aware of any vote.
Okay. And on the negotiations that Deji was talking about and you were talking about in Qatar about Israel and Hamas, just to clarify, has the UN played any role? Has the UN had a presence at these talks? And will the UN, unless there's a new Security Council resolution, have any role in the implementation?
Look, we have not been directly involved in the security talks. I'm not going to comment on what will come out and may be agreed to.
Thank you.
Gabriel.
Thank you, Steph. Can you give us any more details about the phone call from the Prime Minister of Qatar?
Prime Minister called him to brief him on the latest involving the ceasefire discussions.
Okay. And most of my questions were asked, but I had another one. Has the Secretary General ruled out visiting Syria on this trip?
No, let's one step at a time, one country at a time.
Fair enough. It's a question that a lot of people are going to be asking in the region, given everything
Yeah,
that's going on.
I
of
understand, and
course.
we've had a number of senior officials go to Damascus. I think others will follow. Everything in due course. But as a reminder, I mean, Mr. Pedersen is the Secretary General's envoy on Syria. He's been to Damascus. No doubt he will go at some point again. His deputy is there. A visit by a Secretary General involves a certain amount of things and signifies a certain amount of things. So we have to get the timing right.
And last thing is, has the Secretary General spoke to Ahmed al-Sharaa?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you.
Madame Zehil.
Thank you. A little question. Do you know if Mr. Lacroix will be joining Mr. Guterres in his trip?
I would not be surprised.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Very few things surprise me.